The next section is about another example about calculator. So if you look at this example, it's too small, so I make it a little bit large. So if you look at this, how many input do we have? Three. How do you know it is three? Because we have three lines. Okay, thank you. 1, 2, and 3. So the first input is number. Okay, we can use text or we can use number. However, if you use text, you need to change from string to integer because we are going to create a calculator. If you use number, then we can just use the input and perform some kind of operation. We have the operation. So what is the component? The component is, because you can see this circle, diagram, then this is reading. And the third one, if you look at this one, okay, this is number. Then we have number 1, and then operation, and number 2. How many output do we have? We have only one output. Okay. So in the final exam, I will give you like this one. I will show one picture, and then you can design the user interface, and then you need to also make the function to run this user interface. Now let's see. For the calculator, as we see on the user interface, we have 3 input. So let's say it is num1, and then we want to check the operation, and then num2. If the operation equals to add, then we will do, we will return number 1 plus number 2. If the operation is subtract, then it will be number 1 minus number 2. If it is multiply, then we do the multiplication. If we divide, we will do the division. Then we can make an object of the interface. The function is the calculator, and then the inputs, we have 3 inputs, which is a number, and the label is number 1, and then a radio. There are 4 options: add, subtract, multiply, divide. And the last input is number, so we have number 2. After this input, we have the output. The output is a text box. Okay, you can use text box, you can use text, and this is a title, and this is the description. So we have text, let's say 5 and 3. Okay, so if I do the addition, 8. If I do subtract, 2. If I do multiply, 15. If I do the division, 1.666 something. Okay, so this is the simple calculator app. Okay, next is another example about PMI calculator. Now, yeah, you have another user interface. How many components do we have? You have 3. Okay, thank you. The first is the name. The second is the head. And the third is the weight. Okay. Now, if you have 3 inputs, name, head, and weight, you will show it into one output. So let's say, yeah, hello A, and what is your PMI, and then what is the category of this one. Oh, why it is 0? Okay, let's see. So you already have the PMI calculator example, maybe in the week 4 or 5. Yeah, you can use that one. And now we need to define the parameters. Let's have 3 parameters. First is name, and then the second is head, and the other is weight. Okay. We have the BMI value by using the formula. So this is the formula that we already learned before. Weight divided by head, power of 2. And the PMI category, this one was from the previous section. I think in the week 3 or week 4, we have this kind of insertion. So if it is less than 18.5, this is underweight. If it is between 18.5 until 24.9, it is normal, and so on. If it is more than 30, it is obese. Then we will return a value. Hello, name, because we are using the name. So this is name, and then we have the PMI value. We have dot 2F. Do you know what is it? Dot 2F. Good. So it means we have 2 value after the decimal. Okay, we have 2 values after the decimal, and the type of the data, yeah, we have a float. And you need to interpret. The interpretation is from this category. We have 3 inputs. First, we need to call the function, and then we have 3 inputs. The first is text, number, number, and the output is a text box. So we will show this text. PMI calculator is the title, and this is the description. Okay. Then let's say if the person is named A, and let's say the height is 180, okay, and the weight, let's say 77. Okay, let's submit. Oh, the PMI is 0. What happened? Did I do something wrong? Is there something wrong with this one? The PMI value always 0. What is the mistake here? 180 is the hit power of 2. And then weight. Let's see, the weight is 77. And 77 divided by 180 power of 2. Let me stop first. Okay, so the height, it is in meter. So we can define the meter, it is 1.8, for example, not in the centimeter. If in the centimeter, it is 180, but if it is in the meter, it is 1.8. Then we get the PMI, which is 23.77, and it is normal. Now we can have another kind of example. It is this is just a game pet name generator. So this pet name, it means that you can design what is the pet type. So you can have dog or pet or other things. Okay, and then yeah, you can design, let's say, the personality type. Okay. And based on this one and this one, let's create a name. Okay. So you can generate the name. So this is another example from Gradio. So I just took this example from Gradio, and let's take a look how we can design his user interface with a theme. Okay. Last time we learned about the theme. So this is the example from Gradio. We have a function generate pet name, and then we have two input. We have two input. So if you look at the PowerPoint, yeah, we have two input. The first input is this one, and the other input is this one. If you look at this one, what is the component? Drop down. Okay, thank you. Then you already learned a lot from the user interface. We have this one, yeah, the triangle like this one. When you click, then it will show some option. So we call it, this is drop down. What about this? Radio. Thank you. So if you look at the option with circle, then it is a radio automatically. Okay. Now you have one output, okay, and we have a button. So this design, how can we create it? There are two inputs. The first is the animal type, and the other is personality based on the user interface. And then, yeah, this is the example from Gradio. So the person give any name. Okay. So any, maybe, yeah, just random name. This is cute prefix, and then this is the animal suffix. It means it will randomly chosen if the animal is a cat, suffix, prefix. Do you know what does it mean? Prefix. Prefix means the first word. Suffix, it is the second word. So the name will contain two words, the first word and the second word. The first word will be from this option, and the second word, it will be based on the type of the animal. So if we choose the animal as cat, then we will choose among this option. If the animal is dog, then we will choose from this option. If the animal is bird, we will choose from this option. But this option will be only for the suffix, which is the second word. And the cute prefix will be for the first words. So the name will contain two words. Now we have variable prefix. The prefix will be a random from the cute prefix. So the prefix will be a random from this option. Suffix, it will be a random from the animal suffix. Okay, this is the animal suffix based on the animal type. What is animal type? This one. So if the animal type is cat, then you will have the option whiskers, paws, mitten, and Porrington. If the animal type is dog, then you will choose the random from this option. So the personality, yeah, we have the personality, this one. If the personality is silly, then yeah, we can have this random choice to call the pet. If the personality is royal, yeah, we can choose from this name. So this is just a kind of hint. Now we have the function. We will return the prefix and the suffix. Now let's create the interface. As you know, the interface contains of function, input, and output. Function means we will do something based on the function that you created. Input is the input that you have, and the output is to show the output from your function. With the block, how can we define the function, the input, and the output? So if you look at this one, the input, the output, and the function is on this section. What is it? Yeah, we have fn. This is the function. Input, there are two input, which is the animal type and personality. And then we have one output. Now we need to trace back the generate pet name. Okay, the generate pet name is this function. Now let's take a look. The animal type. Okay. Where is the animal type? So we have animal type. And the animal type is a drop down. The choices, okay, we have cat, dog, bird, and rabbit. And then we have the label. Choose your pet type. and then value. This is the initial value. This is cat. The personality, it is a radio, as we saw from the user interface. And the choices, we have normal, silly, and royal. The label is the personality type, and let be the initial value as normal. Okay, so it means we already know the animal type and the personality. Now, what is name output? So the name output will be a text box. So the name output is a text box where the label is your pet's fancy name, and let's make the lines equal to 2. So it means there are 2 lines. We have a generate button. So this button is our design. We will create this button. So whenever the user click this button, then it will get the value from the input. It will run the function and it will show the output. Now, with these 2 input, we want to put these 2 input in the sidebar. Okay, so yesterday we learned about sidebar, and the position of the sidebar can be on the left or on the right. Now let's just consider the sidebar is on the left. For the sidebar on the left, we have a markdown. Okay. So this is the example from the Gradio. In the Gradio, you can use some icon. Okay, so this is a cute icon. Okay. Yeah, if you want to have any icon, yeah, you can also input the icon into the Python. You can have the pet name generator as the markdown. So this is only the text. And you have another markdown, which is to explain. You use the option below to generate a unique pet name. And if you look at this user interface, this is the pet name generator, and this is the explanation. Use the option below to generate a unique pet name. And we design this one using the markdown. After we have this, now let's take a look that everything belongs to a block. So all those things belongs to a block. And the block, we are going to use the theme. As we learned yesterday, we use the template, which is soft. Soft is, you can have the color. Okay. So if you look at this one, we have the primary who, secondary who, natural who, and so on. So those are the options. And we are going to make this block, and the name is demo. After we have all those things, we just launch the demo. Then you will get like this one. Okay, then you can choose what is your pet. Let's say I'm having a dog, and then let's say my personality is silly. Okay, so when you generate the name, okay, you have Captain Cookie Barkington. So it is just a name generated from the option. Let's say I have a rabbit and he's a royal. Then let me get, okay, this is a pet name. Okay. Okay, so you learn a lot of things about the Gradio. Now, at the end of this code, I think I still have one more example. So do you still remember the problem in your mid-exam? At the time, you need to put about the ice cream. Okay. Now, let's try to make that one into a user interface. Okay. In your individual project, I want you to design also a user interface. So please think about the user interface. I hope by next week, when you meet me, you already have the idea about the user interface. Okay, so please design your user interface. Now let's look at the problem. If you still remember, we have ice cream. So I put more explanation here. We have the ice cream. At the moment, we have, as I remember, we have 100 ice cream. We need to define this one, the initial inventory. Okay, now let's do one by one. Maybe let me run this. Now 50. Okay, so I set up the number is 50, and then let's suppose the ice cream price is 2.5. And if you still remember, if you buy one, the original price is 2.5. If you buy two, yeah, you can get discount. If you buy three, yeah, you can get more discount. So yeah, this is just a kind of simulation. For example, if you want to do the simulation, yeah, you can have like this one. Customer one, customer two, customer three, and then until we have customer 10. So we have the simulation complete at the time you run the code until 10 customers. Okay. And the 10 customer is randomly. We do not know how many ice cream that the customer wants to buy. And then yeah, here is kind of report. So this is a kind of simulation with the 10 customers. I think at the time, because you generate a random, so one customer one, how many ice cream he wants to buy? Customer two, how many ice cream? Now, yeah, it is shown in this user interface one by one. So one customer, yeah, he wants to buy 5. Sorry, I didn't put the discount here. Okay, so I just put the total. If the person bought 5, and then we just multiply by 5, and then the inventory will be decreased. The customer 2 came, and then customer 2 bought 3. So the price will be 7.5, and the new inventory is 42, and the total sales is this one, and so on. So we can do the simulation, and yeah, for the explanation, I use the GPT to help me, because like this one, I use the yield. Okay, so what is yield? And then for some part, yeah, I also declare about the state. What is state? Because we still have some time, let me explain a little bit. So as you know, we need to have at least one function. Actually, you can have several functions, not only one, but you can have several. In your project, yeah, please design your function. If you have more than one function, that is fine. If you want to create also with object, it's also fine. Now let's have one function. This is the function process customer, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means I have 4 input: the inventory, the total sales, customer ID, and price. If you look at the user interface, actually there are only 2: the initial inventory and then the ice cream price. This is text or text box, or you can use number. This is also text, or you can have number. Now the question is, why do we have 4? Why do we have 4? The other 2 will be only to show the output. Okay. Now let's see one by one. For every customer, okay, we want to select whether he or she will buy an ice cream as much as 1 until 5. So we do not know. Just make it random. And next, let's see if a customer buy 5. But we are going to check with the inventory. What does it mean? The customer can buy the minimum. Now let's see. If the inventory we have 50 and the customer he wants to buy 5, then what happens? The actual sales will be 5 because it is the minimum. Okay. Now let's suppose the customer he wants to buy 5, but the inventory or the remaining inventory is 3. What happened? The actual sales will be the minimum, which is 3. Okay. It means the actual sales cannot meet the customer demand. The customer demand is 5. However, we only have 3 ice cream. Then yeah, the customer can only buy 3 or according to the minimum value. And then after that, we can calculate the revenue. The revenue is the actual sales multiplied by the price. So what is price? The price is the input. Now we have a new inventory. After we know that the customer buy a product, then the inventory will be decreasing. So the inventory will be subtracted with the actual sales, and the new total sales will be total sales plus the revenue. So this is just to show the message and the log. Okay. The actual sales, if it is higher than 0, then show the message and put into the log. Okay. So what is the message? In the message we have customer and then the customer ID. He wanted to buy how many ice cream, and it has the actual sales, how many sales it happens on this customer, and let's show the remaining inventory. So the total sales will be this one for the customer ID in a particular ID. For example, if customer ID 1, then we can show the message only for customer ID 1. So I'm using the same. It is only to save the data. Okay. So after I have this message, I'm going to save this data into a log. However, there can be a case when the customers cannot buy any ice cream. So if the ice cream is higher than 0, you can show this message. But if the actual sales is 0, okay, maybe the ice cream is already out of stock. Then we can show the customer ID wanted to buy ice cream, but the shop is out of stock. So the remaining inventory is this one, and the total sales, again, we show the total sales, which is 0.00. And I'm again writing those messages into a log. Why we need to have this log? Okay, you can see later. And then after we have this one, we have for output. The new inventory, the new total sales, and then we have message, and we have log entry. So the new inventory, it means this one after you subtract with the actual sales, and then we have new total sales, means after you add with the revenue, and then you have the message and the log entry. Okay. For this one, we need to do the simulation. Okay, so this is the simulation. Okay, I'm using the GPT to write this one. So I think the text is better than my explanation. So the current inventory equals to the initial inventory input. Okay, so we have two input. For the simulation, we want to know what is the initial inventory, and we want to know what is the price. So this is based on the UI. Okay, in the UI, we have two input. What are the input? The initial inventory and the initial price. The initial inventory, it is the current inventory, and the current total sales, we start from 0, and the customer log, let be an empty list, and then let's do the simulation until 10 customers. So there is a kind of way to maintain the result, and we can use yield. So what is yield? So I'm using the GPT to give this kind of explanation. So yield means you will maintain a kind of structure of your output. So the structure of your output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the output will be always 6 items. The first item, the second item, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay. Now you can see later what is the meaning by 6 items here. So I'm going to do the simulation. The simulation will work for every customer. So after customer 1, we'll do this simulation. And then customer 2, we will do the simulation. Customer 3, we will do the simulation. customer 4 will do the simulation, and so on. That's why the range will be from 1 until the number of customers. We have the number of customers, which is 10. Then we will run for 10 times. Now, you need to check if the current inventory is higher than, if it is lower than 0. If the inventory is lower than 0, then stop, because you cannot sell any product when the ice cream is lower than 0. So the simulation stop, out of stock, and then we can just add into the customer log. The customer log means this. So we can report which customer who cannot buy ice cream. So we will have the report. Now we have yield. Okay, so yield, as I mentioned to you, we have 6 items for the output. We have the message, we have the current inventory, current total sales, customer logs, empty, empty. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we always have 6 output. We can use yield at this moment. And if this condition already satisfied, because the ice cream is out of stock, just break. Do you still remember what is break? Okay. We do not need to continue to the next customer because we already have no ice cream. Then stop the simulation. And then we have this one. For every customers, okay, after you run, okay, if it is the condition, if out of stock, if not out of stock, if the ice cream is available, what will you do? You will do the process customer. What is process customer? Process customer is the function that you have here. So it means in one program you can design more than one function. This is the function that you can run to do the actual sales, inventory update, and etc. And this is the function for the user interface. After you have this one, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is for output. This is from this one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 output from the process customers. Then the process customer, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 input. The current inventory means the current state. How many ice cream do we have? The current total sales. This is the current total sales. And then I, it is the customer ID. This is I, customer ID. And then ice cream price input. So if the ice cream is 5,000, then we will always give the input 5,000. Then we get an output after we run the process customer. So we will update. The new inventory will be based on the new inventory from here. The total sales now will be updated with the new total sales. And we have a new log from the log entry. Again, we will yield this result. And this is for the simulation. We have time sleep equals to 1. It is to stop every 1 second, every 1 second, every 1 second, every 1 second. So the final report will be using this text. And then the full customer log will be based on the customer log that you have, this one, after you have a list, and you can show it. So yield is the output. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So every of the output will have 6 items, 6 items, 6 items, 6 items, and you can just use yield to maintain the consistency for every of the output. So the remaining is only the design in your interface. So we have the sidebar. Okay. The state, it means it follows the simulation. The sidebar, we have the text markdown. This is number. This is number. And this is another markdown. When we have the button, so we can start the simulation. Maybe, and in the middle of the simulation, you want to stop. Then you can stop the simulation. We have tab. The tab means this one. So this is the first step. This is the first step, and this is the second step. So you have 2 tabs. The first step is to show every step of the customer, and this is the final report. Okay. Yeah, I hope that you can do the individual project until this report. Okay. You can show the report based on the simulation result. So tab item 1 is the simulation, and the tab item 2 is the report. The item 1, we have only the text box, number, and number. And for the report, we have text box and text box. So you can understand from these parameters. Okay. The remaining is only to run the simulation. So this is the simulate customers. This is the input, and this is the output. So the output, you have like the yield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 items as the output. This is only for the stock simulation. Yeah, if you want to use this one, you can use, but this is just additional. Maybe it is too complicated. You have lambda. You still remember lambda? Okay, lambda, it is a function. Okay, it is similar with function. So in this case, I'm using the lambda to indicate the function. Whenever we have this click, then we will stop the simulation, and then the input and the output will be known. Okay, anyway, this is one example. So I will stop here. We will do